Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're gonna do some extra practice questions. So we covered all the concepts, but I'm gonna just throw some questions here and just see if just some questions for you to practice. I just picked some of these from textbooks, some worksheets, and I want to solve it with you. All right. So before I proceed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any question, please don't forget to email me. You can chat me up. You can send me an email and I'll get back to you. And if you've not clicked the notification bell, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please do that so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right, so here we're going to solve some more questions on vectors. I'm going to solve maybe 5 or 6 questions, some different styles of questions, and we'll see what we can do about it. So the first one, all right, I have this question here. The question said the diagram below shows 3 sets of equally spaced parallel lines. Okay, they show equally spaced parallel lines, and we're told that given AC is equal to P and AD is equal to Q. All right, we're now told to express the following vectors in terms of P and Q. Okay, so the key thing to know is that we're told that AC is equal to P, and we're told that AD, remember the direction from A to D, is Q. All right, so let me draw the diagram I have here. So we had something like this. We had one line this way, we had another one this way, and we had another one this way, okay? Then we had, okay, we had something like this. Then we had some other parallel lines. So we have some parallel lines this way. We had another parallel line this way. And we had another parallel line this way. So something like this, okay? Then we also had another parallel line like this way. We had another one that went this way. So basically like this, okay? So I'm using freehand here. So we had another one going this way like this. All right? So and the labels we had here to be, this was called A, this was called B, this was C, this was D, this was E, and this was F, this was G, this was H, and this was I. All right? And that was it. So if you look at the example, we're told that AC, so AC means from this point here, let me use this from AC in this direction. AC was what? P. And we're told that AD, so that means from this point here, was what? Q. Are you seeing it? Now we're now told to find. So the first one we're told to find, number 1, we're told to find CA. So if you remember, I've talked about this before. So because they are parallel lines and you're in the same direction, they should be equal, all right? So we're looking for CA. So you're going from C to A. Now, since A to C, okay, since A to C, let me see if I can get another color. Yep, so let's use this. So if we had A to C was P, all right? So A to C was P. So if we're moving in the opposite direction, you have to swap the sign. So remember I told you, if you're going in this direction, it's A. If the magnitude is still the same thing and you're going in this direction, it's going to be minus A. So that means AC was P. So therefore, CA is going to be equal to what? Minus what? P. So number 2, we're going to have the next one. The next one we have is AG. So you want to move from A to G. So you're moving from A to G. But because they said it's equally what? Spaced. So if you look at the question, you have to be very careful. They said the 3 cells are equally what? Spaced. So they're equally spaced parallel lines. So that means the spaces here are equal. So therefore, AG, so if the A to D is going to be Q, D to G is going to also be what? Q. Are you seeing it? So that means AG is going to be, so how do you move from A to G? Remember in the video I talked about taking a taxi or taking a bus going from your home to the mall. So it's exactly the same thing. So if I'm moving from A to G, I have to first move from A to D first. After that, then I move from D all the way to what? G. Are you seeing it? So A to D was Q, and D to G as well was also Q. So therefore, AG is going to be equal to what? To Q. Are you seeing it? Number 3, we're now told to find AB. So move from A to B. So we want to move from A to B, but we already know that from A to C was P. So that means A to B is going to be 1/2 P, and B to C is going to also be what? Half P. Because we know that, get this here, so put it like this, half P. So because we know from A to C was P, so therefore A to B must be what? Half P. Are you seeing it? All right, so you see that we are solving question using the concept of those parallel lines we talked about. So number 4, we're asked what? DF, okay? DF, we need to move from D to F. So now if you look at it, so D to F is parallel to A to C. And remember, because it's parallel to A to C, it has to be equal. So that means this part is also parallel to A to C. So remember, they said they're equally spaced parallel lines. So that means all the parts here are parallel to each other, and all these parts here are going to be what? Parallel to what? Each other. So that means D to F is parallel to A to C. So therefore, it's going to be the same thing as what? P. Okay? So D to F is parallel to what? A to C. So when you go from D to F, it's parallel to A to C. Number 5, we're now told to find HE. Okay? Number 5, we're told to find HE. Now we need to move from H to E. So now if you look at this, we'll need to move from H to E. So moving from H to E, we need to go from H to E, this point here. But we already know that G to D, D and G, we already know that to be Q already. So that means H to E, which is the opposite direction, has to be what? Minus Q. Are you seeing it? Because if you have the same magnitude, but you're in the opposite direction, it's going to be what? Minus what? Q. Number 6. The next one, let me clean this up. Number 6, we're told to find AF. AF. So that means we need to move from A to F. So this is the starting point, A, and we need to stop at what? F. So there are two ways to get to A to F. So it's either I go from A to C first, then I take C to F. So remember I talked about taking the bus and taking the train and stuff. Or I can decide to go from A to D, then I now take D to F. So any of this will give me the answer. So you can pick one, all right? So I'm going to solve two of them, but I'm going to just pick one. So A to F, so if you take A to C is P, and C to F is going to be Q because it's parallel to A to D. Are you seeing it? So C to F is Q, so it's going to be P plus Q. Now, if you want to take the other one, AD, it will be A to D is going to be Q. Are you seeing it? A to D is Q, so you're going to have A to D here, that is Q, plus D to F is parallel to A to C, and it's also going to be P. So you can see it's exactly the same thing. All right? So let's go to the next one. We have 6, so the next one is number 7. All right? Number 7, we've done AF. So the next one we had to do was AH. So we need to move from A to H, okay? So A to H, so we have A here, and we need to stop at H. So it's very easy. From A to H, you can either decide to go AC, CI, or IH, or you just go from A to G and G to H. So you can go from A to G, then G to H. So if you go the same other way from A to C, C to I, and I to H, you get the same thing, but just a longer way. So just for instance, like I gave you the example, when you can take a taxi or you want to take a bus, you want to walk down and take another bus, and so stuff like that, you give it the same thing. So A to G is going to be 2Q because A to D is Q and D to G is also Q. So A to G is going to be 2Q plus G to H is parallel to A to B. So that means this is also going to be half P. So plus 1/2P. Are you seeing it? And that will be the answer for that. Then the next one, number 8, we're going to have, we've talked about AH. So we're going to talk about DC. So I want to move from D to C. So I want to start from, where is the D? I want to start from D, and I'm going to end in C. So what I can do, I can go from D to A, plus, and I go from A to what? To C. Are you seeing it? So I can go from D to A and A to C. Now D to A, because I'm going in the opposite direction of A to D, because A to D is Q, but D to A is in the opposite direction, it's going to be minus what? Q plus AC, which is going to be what? P. So it's going to be minus Q plus what? P. Then the next one, number 9. Let's assume we're told to find CG. Okay, CG. So we want to start from C and end in what? G. Okay, so there are two ways. You can either go from C to A, then A to G, or you can go from C to I and I to G. So anyone you want, you can use. But I'm going to use C to A. Then I'm going to have A to G. You see me? So C to A is going to be P, right? But because I'm going in the opposite direction, because AC was P, so CA is going to be minus P, plus AG is going to be 2Q. We talked about that already because it's AD and DG. Number 10. we're going to have IA. So we want to move from I to A. So we're going to clean this. So we want to move from I to A. So we have I here and we have A here. So you can either move from I to C, then C all the way to A, or you can move from I to G, then G to A. So anyone you prefer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to prefer to go from I to C, all right? Then I then move from C to A. So I to C, so remember, because I to C is parallel to G to H, G to A, so it's going to be minus 2Q plus, then C to A is going to be minus P. Are you seeing it? Because AC is P, then CA is going to be minus P. All right? Okay, so let's pick maybe two more. So let's assume 11. Let's assume you are told to find E to C. All right, so you're moving from E and you need to stop at C. It's very easy. So that means from E to C, you have to go from E to F, then F to C. All right, so it's going to be E to F plus F to C. So E to F is parallel to B to C. So that means it's going to be half P. So E to F is parallel to B to C plus FC is going to give us what? FC is going in the opposite direction of CF because CF is Q. So FC is going to be what? Minus what? Q. All right. So number 10. So let me just pick one more and just squeeze it somewhere here. Okay. Number 10. What about if you're asked to find IB? All right. Number 10, you're told to find IB. So you want to move from I and stop at what? B. Are you seeing it? So I to B. So it means that for I to B, let me see if I can bring this a bit down. So IB. So it means that I have to go to IC. Then I now go to what? CB. All right. So IC, we already know that IC is going to be minus 2Q because IF is going to be minus Q. FC is also going to be minus Q because they're going in the opposite direction. So it's going to be minus 2Q plus CB is going to be minus half P. And that is that. So you can see that based on this diagram, you have so many things you can get. You can ask to find H to F and stuff like that. So you can practice with more questions like this, okay? So this is similar to parallel lines. What you need to know so far is equally spaced and the magnitude are the same. If you just move in the opposite direction, the sign is going to change, okay? All right, let's go to another question here. So we are told in this question, number 2, we're told in the equilateral below or in the quadrilateral. Okay, in the quadrilateral shown below, we're told that OA, so moving from O to A, was equal to U. We're told that AB was equal to what? V. And we're also told that OC was equal to W. All right? We're now told to find the expression in terms of U, V, W? Okay, so we're told OA was equal to U, AB was what? V, and we're told that OC was equal to what? W. So usually I prefer to highlight the most important part of questions so that I will not lose track. So the shape we had was something like this. Yes. So it was the shape, the side, and we had it like this. So let's clean this a bit here. So we had this and that. Okay. So we were told that this is O, A, B, and what? C. Okay. All right. So we're told OA. So that means the direction was this direction. OA was what? U. Let me use another color just for to make it very obvious. So OA was what? U. AB was what? V. And we're told OC was what? W. All right. Okay. So number one, we're now told to find OB. So if I want to move from O to B, what will I do? So this is O to B. So that means I have to go to OA. Then after that, I have to take what? AB. So OA is U. Then AB is what? V. So the answer is going to be U plus V. Okay? Then the next one, we're told to have AC. So I want to move from A to C. So that means to move from A to C, I have to first go from A to O. Then I then take what? O to C. Are you seeing it? So that's the same principle of taking a taxi. After you take a taxi, then you now take a bus. Then AO. So because we are going in the opposite direction to OA, because OA was OA is equal to U, but because we're now going in the opposite direction, AO now is going to be equal to minus U. So remember I told you if you're going the opposite direction, it's going to be negative. So AO is going to be minus U plus OC, which is the same direction. So it's going to be minus U plus W. All right, so pick one more, number 3. All right, so let's assume we're told to find CB. So I'm moving from C to B. So C to B, I have to move from C to O. Then I move from O to A. Then I move from A to what? B. So C to O, because I'm going the opposite direction, is going to be minus W plus O to A is going to give me, because same direction, is going to give me U. And A to B is going to give me what? V. So it's going to be minus U, minus W plus U plus V. And that will be the answer for that number 2. All right, so let's go to number 3. All right, let's pick one more for this. So let's assume we have this diagram here. So we have this one. So we have something like this. Okay, so we have the shape, something like this, and we have this. Okay, we have this diagram here. So we're told this diagram was A, B, C, here's D, E, F, and G, and H, okay? So we're told this. So then they said the question was that the diagram shows a cuboid okay? Shows a cuboid given AB, so A to B was equal to P, AD was equal to Q, and AE was equal to R, okay? Find the expressions in the terms of P, Q, and R. We're told to now find the expressions in terms of P, Q, and R. So we have this. So we have AB was equal to P. We had AD was equal to Q. And we had AE was equal to what? R. So we can now put it. So AB, so this is the direction, was equal to P. AD, this is the direction. We're told this is equal to Q. And we had AE, this is the direction, was equal to R, okay? So the first one is that we're told to find BC, okay? So I want to move from B to C. So because BC is parallel, it's a cuboid, so that means it's also parallel to, so BC is gonna be parallel to AD, so that means this must be equal, same thing as Q. So BC is parallel to AD, okay? And this is gonna be equal to what? Q, all right? Now B, we're looking for AF, so we need to move from A to F. So starting from A, okay, let me see if I can use another color. We have green, purple. Yeah, this is black for that. So I want to move from A and stop at F. So that means I can go from A to E and E to F. So I can go from A to E and E to F, or I can go from A to B and B to F. So anyone you want. So we can go from A to E. Then we now move from what? E to F. Now, A to E, that is easy, that's R plus. Now, E to F is parallel to A to B, so therefore E to F is going to be also what? P. Because E to F is parallel to A to B, so AB is parallel to what? E to F. So because they are both parallel and the same direction, they'll be equal to what? P. So that means it's going to be R, and this is going to be P. So that's the answer, R plus P. Okay? So C now. The next one is that we have DE. We're told to find DE. So I need to move from D to E. So let me clean this one out. So we need to move from D. Where is D? This is D. And I need to stop at what? E. So that means D to E, I can go from D to A and A to R, or I can go to D to H and H to E. Okay, so I'm going to go D to A plus A to E. Now, D to A is opposite of AD because AD was Q. So DA is going to be minus what? Q plus AE is going to be R. So it'll be minus Q plus R. Then D, we'll pick, let's pick 2 or 3 more. So we have AG. So we want to move from A to G. So we'll get this out. It is out. So we want to move from A to G. So we have A. I want to stop at G. So what you can do AB, BC, and CG. Okay, so we can go from A to B plus, we can then do B to C plus, we now do C to what? G. Now A to B is P, same direction and same amount, same magnitude, so it's fine. B to C, same direction, is Q. Now C to G is parallel to A to E. So this is parallel, so this should be R. Are you seeing it? CG is parallel to AE. All right, so because CG is parallel to AE, that will be R. So it's going to be R with P plus Q plus R. All right, so E, let's pick another one. Let's say GB. Okay, GB. I want to move from G and I want to stop at B. So I'm moving from G. I want to stop at B. So GB is going to be G to C. So I move from G to C. Then I move from C to B. Are you seeing it? So that will give you G to C is opposite of G to C to G in the opposite direction. So that will give you minus R plus. Now C to B is in the opposite direction of B to C. And that will give me what? Minus what? Q. So that will be that. Let me just pick one more because I'm running out of space already. I'll just pick one more for this. F, which will be the last one. Let's assume we're asked to find B to H. So you want to move from B and stop at H. So you're starting at B and you need to stop at H. So you can do B to C, C to G. Now, but G to H is in opposite direction of A to B. So this is going to be minus P. Are you seeing it? So it's going to become B to C plus C to G plus G to H. And that will give you B to C is going to become Q plus CG is going to be R plus GH is going to be what? Minus what? P. And that will be the answer for that. All right. So that will bring us to how to solve questions like this. So you can go back home, you can practice more questions, and we'll see what we can do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the next one now. We're going to go to the next question, which is number 4, and we'll see if we can solve a question on number 4. All right. So that's the next one we're going to do. We're going to see if we can pick a question, maybe something that has to do with let's say something that talks about equality of vectors, okay? Where we are trying to find the missing values for each of it. So let us see if we can solve a question on that. All right, so let's solve this question. So we're told that given, that vector M is equal to 2i plus lambda j, okay? And vector N is equal to mu I minus what? 5j, okay? We're told that we should find the values of lambda and mu such that, okay? So now the first one we're given that m plus n should be equal to 3i minus j, okay? So in this question now, we're told that m was all this, okay? We're told that n was all this. And they said when you add them together, it should give you 3i plus j. So easy. let's go straight. So we're going to add them. So the m is 2I plus lambda j. Okay, this, and you're adding it to the other one, which is going to be mu I minus 5j. And that should be equal to 3I minus j. Okay, so we open the bracket. So it's going to give us 2I plus lambda j. Plus times this will still give us plus mu I. Plus times minus will give us minus 5j. It's equal to 3I minus j. All right. So what you do, we collect all the i's together on the left hand side. So we have 2I and mu I. So we can say this is going to be 2I plus mu I. Are you seeing it? Then we can collect all the j's together. So we have lambda j and minus 5j. So it's going to be plus lambda j minus 5j. And all this must be equal to, okay, all this must be equal to the I, 3I, minus what? 5j. Okay, now we are at this point here. So for these two to be equal, all right, for these two to be equal, it means that 2I minus mu must be equal to 3I, okay? So hence, we can now say, for this to be equal, all the i's on the left-hand side must be equal to all the i's on the right-hand side, right? So that means we can now say 2I plus mu I is equal to 3i's. And therefore, all the j's on the left-hand side must be equal to all the j's on the right-hand side, all right? So it's going to be equal to lambda j minus 5j be equal to minus 5j. Okay? So, sorry, this is not 5j. This should be j because minus j, all right? So this is going to be j, and this is going to be j. All right. So that means we can solve the left-hand side. So I'm going to solve the left-hand side to get the answer, and I'm going to solve the right-hand side to get the answer. So now if we go to the left-hand side, you can see I is common here. So we have I. We're going to have 2 plus mu is equal to 3I. Okay. To get rid, I'll divide both sides by I. So this I will cancel this I. This I will cancel this I. So we're going to have 2 plus mu is equal to 3. Then I'll take 2 to the other side. So mu is going to be 3 minus what? 2. So therefore, the mu is going to be equal to what? 1. Are you seeing it? Now do the same thing. So the j is common. So you bring out the j, and you have lambda minus 5 is equal to minus j. Okay. To get rid of the j, I'll divide both sides by j. I divide both sides by j. So this j is going to cancel this j. J will cancel this j to leave minus 1. And we have lambda minus 5. Are you seeing it? Then I'll take minus 5 to the other side. So we have lambda is going to be equal to 5 minus 1. And that, therefore, the lambda is going to be equal to what? 4. So therefore, in this question now, we can now say, in this question, you can now say, therefore, the mu is equal to 1, and the lambda is equal to what? 4. And that'll be the answer for that question. All right? So that'll be it. The mu is 1, and the lambda is 4. So let's go to the B part of the question. So the B part was that the B, for that same question, we're told 2m minus n was equal to minus 3I plus 8j. All right. So the same thing, we'll do the same thing. We know the m from the question. We're told the m was 2I plus lambda j, and the n was mu I minus 5j. All right. So let's go back to the question. So the m is equal to 2i plus lambda j, and the n was equal to mu I minus 5j. Okay, just confirm again if it's correct. Mu I minus 5j, 2i lambda j. Yep, that is it. So we can continue now. All right, so that was the mu m, and that is the n. So now if we're doing that now, so to proceed now, it's going to be 2m, so it's going to be 2. The m is what? 2i plus lambda j minus the n is what? Mu I minus what? 5j, and this is equal to minus 3i plus 8j. You open the bracket, okay? So I told you in algebra, so we have a, b plus c. It's going to be a times b, will give you ab, and a times c will give you what? ac. So that's how you do it. So you're going to do the same thing here. So with 2 times 2i, we give you 4i plus the other one is going to give you 2 lambda j, because 2 times lambda j, minus times mu is going to give you minus I, minus times minus 5j is going to give you plus 5j, and that will be equal to minus 3i plus what? 8j. So the same thing, we're going to bring all the i's together. So we're going to have 4i minus mu I, okay? And we're going to bring all the j's together. So this is the same thing as minus 3i. So we're going to put all the j's together. So the j's now we have is 2 and 5. So it's going to be plus 2 lambda j, right? Plus 5j, and we're going to have it at 8j as well. Are you seeing it? So that means for this to be equal, for this to be equal, so it means that this, the i's on the left-hand side must be equal to the i's on the right-hand side, right? So hence, for this to be equal, right? So the 4i minus mu I must be equal to minus 3i. And also, the j's on the left-hand side must equal to the j's on the right-hand side. So you're going to have 2 lambda j plus 5j must be equal to what? 8j. Okay, so we're going to solve the ones on the right to get for the mu, and I'm going to solve the ones on the left to get for the lambda. So we're going to start now. So let's go. So I'm going to start with the right. So what is common here is I, and we then have 4 minus mu will be equal to minus 3i. To get rid of the i's, you divide both sides by I. So this will cancel that. This will cancel this. So we now have 4 minus mu is equal to minus 3. Okay. Then I take mu to this side, and I take minus 3 to this side. So it's going to be 4 plus 3 is equal to what? Mu. And therefore, mu is going to be 4 plus 3 will give me what? 7. Okay. The same thing for the j. What is common here is j, and you're now left with 2 lambda plus 5, and that will be equal to 8j. I'll now divide both sides by j. So this will cancel that. This will cancel that. So you're going to have 2 lambda plus 5 is equal to what? 8. I'll take 5 to this side. So we're going to have 2 lambda is equal to 8 minus 5. Then 2 lambda is going to be equal to 3. Are you seeing it? Divide both sides by what? 2. So therefore, the lambda will be equal to 3 over 2. So for that question now, we can now say, for that to be correct, so therefore, mu is equal to 7, and the lambda is equal to 3 over what? 2. And that will be the answer for that. All right. So that is it. So I'm going to pick another question now so that we can solve. So you just need to go to the textbook. There are several on the worksheet, several questions, but I just selected this few. I'll pick maybe one more or two, maybe one or two more. Then after that, then I will round up this video for this, okay? So make sure you go to the textbook, pick more questions so that you can solve, okay? All right, so let's pick one more, all right? Maybe this might be the last one for this video. So let's say we're given this question here. We're given that, okay? We're told given that R is equal to 6I plus CJ, okay? Where C is a positive constant. So we're now told to find the value of C such that, okay, we're now told A, the first one we're told. So find the value of C such that R is parallel to the vector to I plus J, okay? So R is parallel to the vector 2R plus J. So remember, I told you for two vectors to be parallel, A must be equal to KB. So I told you this, okay? So that therefore for R to be parallel to this vector, so that means R must be equal to K and this vector 2I plus J, okay? But we know that R is what? 6I plus CJ. So that'll be equal to K 2I plus what? J, all right? So that means for there to be parallel. Okay, so take this up a bit now. So the next thing is that we're going to open the bracket. So we're going to have 6I plus CJ is going to be equal to 2KI plus KJ, all right? So like I told you, for this to be equal, all the i's on the left-hand side must be equal to all the i's on the right-hand side, right? So therefore, the i's on the left-hand side must be equal to the i's on the right-hand side. So we're going to have 6i must be equal to 2ki. Then the j's on the left-hand side must equal to the j's on the right-hand side. So we're going to have Cj is equal to Kj. All right. So I'm going to solve the i's first. So now we have this. So we're looking for K. So we're going to divide both sides by 2i. Okay. So divide this by 2i. Divide both sides by 2i. So the 2 we cancel 2, I we cancel I. Then we have this will cancel. So 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. So K is going to be equal to what? 3. Are you seeing it? Now you do for the J's. We're looking for K. Divide both sides by J. Okay. Now, but if you look closely to what we have, we know that we have it as K is J. Then if you go up there, right? We solved K already to be equal to 3. So that means I can then put this here. I can then substitute this K for this K here. So then I can now say Cj is equal to what? 3J, all right? So I'm dividing both sides by J now. The J will cancel this, the J will cancel that, and therefore my C is going to be equal to what? 3. Are you seeing it? So that means the k we got from the first part is that what we substituted. Okay? Substituted the k into the k in the second one so that we can now find the c. So now, therefore, we can now say the k is equal to 3, and the what? C is also equal to what? 3 in this case. All right? And that'll be that for that. Now let's go the B part of this question. So we're done with the A part when R is parallel to vector. So we have the B part. The B part now said R is parallel to the vector minus 9I minus 6J. All right? So now if R is parallel to minus 9I minus 6J, so we also know the same principle. When two are parallel, A is going to be equal to KB. So if R is parallel to this, so that means R must be equal to K minus 9I minus 6J. All right? Now, but we know R already. So from the question, we were told that R was 6I plus CJ, right? So 6I plus CJ. So let's go. So R is equal to what? 6I plus CJ. And that is equal to the K minus 9I minus 6J. All right? So we open the bracket. So we're going to have 6I plus CJ is going to be equal to minus 9KI. Are you seeing it? Minus 6KJ. So hence, like I always say, you then have to, all the i's on the left-hand side must be equal to the i's on the right-hand side. So the i's on the left hand must be equal to the i's on the right hand. So that means 6I must be equal to minus 9KI's. And also, all the j's on the left-hand side must be equal to all the j's on the right-hand side. So that means you're going to have CJ is going to be equal to minus 6KJ. All right. So then I'm going to solve the ones on the left hand first, the i's. So we have this. Then we have to make the k solute of the formula. So we're going to divide both sides by minus 9I, divide both sides by minus 9I. So this will cancel this will cancel this, that will cancel that. So we're going to have k will be equal to 6 over 9, which is the same thing as saying 6 over minus 9, which is saying minus what? 2 over 3. So therefore, k is equal to minus 2 over 3. Now, the k we have here, we have to substitute it into this one here. So we have to substitute so that we can find c. So then we can now say Cj is going to be equal to minus 6. So minus 6. The k is what? Minus 2 over 3. Then j, all right? So minus 6 times minus 2 over 3. So minus times minus will give you plus. So that is going to give you 3 divided by 6 will be 2. 2 times 2 will be 4. So it's going to give us 4j. Then we have cj. Then we're looking for c. We have to then divide both sides by what? J. Then this will cancel that. That will cancel that. So therefore, the c is going to be equal to what? 4. So then I can now say for that to be parallel, like the question there suggested. So therefore, k is going to be equal to minus 2 over 3, and c is going to be equal to what? 4. And that will be the answer for that. Okay? So we found the magnitude, we found K and we found C. So let's go to the C part of this question, all right? So the C part. So the C part now said, find R if the magnitude of R is equal to what? 10. Okay? So if the magnitude of R is equal to 10, we should find the value of C. All right, so let's go back. The R, we need to remember the R. The R was what? In this question, the R was 6I plus Cj. So we're finding the value of C when the magnitude of R is equal to 10. Okay, so let's go back. So R, so we know that R was equal to 6I plus what? Cj. All right, good. Now, but we're told that the magnitude of R, okay, we're told that the magnitude of R is equal to 10. So the first thing we need to do is to find the magnitude of R. The magnitude of R is going to be equal to 6 squared plus C squared. Okay? And then we're now told that this value is equal to what? 10. Are you seeing it? So then we can then continue. So if we know this, then we can then say 6 squared plus C squared, all square root, is then equal to 10. To get rid of this square root, I'm going to square both sides, raise both sides to the power of 2, raise both sides to the power of 2. So that means this square root is going to cancel this square. So we're going to have C squared plus C squared is going to be equal to 10 squared is what? 100. Are you seeing it? Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take 6 squared is the same thing as 36 plus C squared is going to be equal to 100. Then C will go, 36 will go to the other side. So that means C squared is going to be equal to 100 minus 36. And that is going to give us what? 64. So that means C squared is going to be equal to what? 64. Now, but we're not looking for C squared, we're looking for C, all right? So to get C, we have to take the square root of both sides, but therefore this is gonna cancel that. So C is gonna be equal, square root of 64 is plus or minus 8. So therefore, C is gonna be plus 8, or C is gonna be what? Minus 8. All right, so we talked about this in quadratic. Now, but if you go back to the question for C, so we're told that for this question, we said the value of C must be as a positive constant. Yep, so you can see we're told in this that C must be a positive what? Constant. So that means C can never be negative. All right. So C is a positive constant. So we have to reject the negative value. So we're going to go back all the way down. So that means the C value that we had for negative, you're going to reject this one. So you're going to reject this. So this can never be the answer because C must be positive. So therefore, C must be equal to what? 8. Okay, C must be equal to 8. All right, so let's pick one more. The D part of this question. I'm going to write it now. All right, so the D part, which was similar, we're told the absolute value or the magnitude of R was what? 3 root 5. Okay, so the same thing like we did, we're going to find the absolute value of the magnitude of root 5, which is going to be equal to the square root of 6 squared plus C squared. Okay, and we're told that this was equal to what? 3 root 5. So therefore, we can now say square root of 6 squared plus C squared is going to be equal to 3 root 5. So we need to get rid of this square root. So we're going to take the square of both sides. So this will cancel that. So we're going to have 6 squared plus c squared is going to be 3 root 5 squared will give you 45 because 9 times 5 will give you 45. Okay. Then the next thing, we then have to take 6 squared, which will give you 36, plus c squared will be equal to 45. We then take 36 to the other side. So you have c squared is going to be equal to 45 minus 36. Then c squared is going to be 45 minus 36 will give you 9. All right. Then to get rid of this square, we take the square root of both sides. And the square will cancel this. So c is going to be equal to plus or minus 3. So therefore, c is going to be equal to plus 3, or c is going to be equal to minus 3. And like I said, c is a positive constant. So because of that, we have to reject the minus. We'll reject this one, okay? And we're going to only pick this one. So therefore, c is going to be equal to what? 3 for this. All right, and that's the answer for that. So I've picked several question types. As you can expect, I can't teach everything. All right, so but at least this one will give you a good background for you to go around and play around in the textbook and so. So if you have any question and you're not sure, you can just send me an email and I'll try to respond to you as soon as I can. Or you can put it in the comment section and some of the subscribers or anybody can respond to your queries and solve as well. All right. Thank you very much. So I'll see you in the next video. And please, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. See you soon.